Replace an empty mind with an opened one.
Join Sumaya Khan every Tuesdays between 7 and 8 p.m. for an educational evening exclusive to Radio Ansaar.
Your education is a dress rehearsal for a life that is yours to lead.
School Matters with Sumaya Khan.
The whole world could.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar Subhanallah walhamdulillah La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to School Matters with me. Yes, Sumaya Khan, your host and producer. Our matric learners are now past the halfway mark, I'd say, of their final 2025 grade 12 exams. But for many, the stress levels are still running high. Today, we'll be talking about how to manage the pressure, stay focused, and keep your spirits up as you head into the final stretch. Even our educators are feeling the pressure, and parents and learners are still under the strain too. So today we'll be talking about how do you manage the stress, how do you stay positive and keep motivated as we head into the final stretch of matric exams. You know, you're done with the paper, but not the pressure. So even though many of our learners have finished writing some of their papers, the pressure doesn't seem to end. Today's youth are under so much stress. What are some of the pressures they're facing in today's world? Now, that's the exams, are wrapping up. Everyone's talking about results. There's a lot of excitement, but also pressure and anxiety around the grade 12 pass expectations this year. Well, done with the paper, not the pressure. Anxiety is still high. Joining us in studio is our regular guest. I don't know, I think both of them are gone somewhere on holiday or in hibernation or just hiding from School Matters. They were not coming to school. Also, one of them are my co-hosts. It's pleasure to welcome them both, particularly during this busy examination period because they are really, really busy. One of them is the Deputy Principal of Centenary, Mr. RAYMOND PILLAY, and VERINOICA, my co-host of George Campbell. Hello.
Hello, Sumaya. Hello, Raymond.
I'm so glad that you guys took the time. I appreciate it so much.
Well, we were bullied, and isn't there a check
not on
afterwards?
Not on
Isn't
air.
there
Now.
a check afterwards?
More than
Raymond?
that.
Weren't
More
you
than that.
promised a check?
Do you know what?
Yes.
At the end of the exams, we're definitely going somewhere to chill. Definitely.
No,
Yes.
I'm teasing.
I can only imagine the pressure. Veronica, we were talking about this just the other day, and that was last year, and there we are back again. Raymond, you were sorting out to bring your top learners into studio. Can you believe it? The time has
We
come.
were saying that as we walked up.
Yeah.
What is going on? Time is just going by.
You blink and it's gone.
Gosh, and
Yeah.
another year.
Yeah.
And another year.
Mm.
Gosh. So how has it been in Centenary with the grade 12 exams thus far?
Hey, Sumaya. Good evening to our listeners. Good evening to you. Hello, Veronica.
Hello, my dear.
It's been good. The preparation has been, it's been good. But hey, when you look at learners, they never prepared, too prepared. So with our learners, they try, but I know one of the SEMs said to me, "You can't keep them at home. You have to get them to school because when they're at home, they're not studying. They get up
Yeah.
late. They're getting 11, 12. Half the day is over. Then they lounge around. So you have to get them to school, do the intervention." So this year I was very thorough in the intervention, and also with the intervention, while it was for all learners, we now had to be specific towards this top part of the year and get the learners who are at risk and trying to get them over the line. So your topic today, done with the paper halfway, Veronica halfway, and but not the pressure, because if I always say to learners, you came from primary school, there was a wall, now you jumped that wall, you came to high school, Then you got to the FET stage, grade 10, 11, 12. At the grade 12, you think NSE is all. There's a wall. You have to get over that wall. Then you're going to post-matric. After that, there's another wall. You need a job. You need a career. So I think learners are resilient.
Yeah.
They are young. They got the energy, and many of them are determined. And with the grace of God, we hope that they succeed.
Yeah, it's hectic, and also you being deputy principal, and I know you all want a good pass rate, and when there's not a good pass rate, you all are crapped on by the district, and it just goes on and on, never ends.
Yeah, Sumaya, we're on an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
If you look at the work that our educators put in, it's not for financial gain.
I know, since
Never.
you're mentioning that there, because I don't think those who are listening to us even know this. You all do not get paid for the extra hours. You all do not get paid for going in at 7 o'clock in the morning and teaching till sometimes 12 o'clock on the weekends, in the holidays.
Yeah.
Some schools are even open on a Sunday, and you all do not get paid. Your family life is sacrificed. I know there was an educator who messaged a while back mentioning that she's been teaching grade 12 learners for so many years, but she just gave birth recently, and she just wanted to spend time with I think the child was about 2 years old, and she was given a letter by one of the SEMs that she can insubordination, and she needs to teach matric because she's qualified. It was such a sad. That's what I'm saying. Which is first, your family or your school, the learners at school, or your own children? And this is the harsh reality. Because I know you and Mrs. Play are both educators, and I don't know how you'll do it because you're in school till so late.
Yeah, it's a huge sacrifice, and Veronica will tell you. And you're away from this part, the primary schools. But
I told you come over.
The afternoon papers are hectic. You have a 2-hour paper. You finish at 4.
3 hours. Geography is still 3 hours.
Geography is 3 hours. And it's just, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like you can delegate it to somebody. It's highly technical. So.
And I don't know why, but I think from the time when I was in matric, we always write during the festive season of Diwali, and also Guy Fawkes. And a lot of schools are going to have their matric dinner, supper, what they say, dance or prom. There's so many,
Distractions.
Yes, there's so many. There's so many. And lucky there's no load shedding.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
True.
lucky. Are we still on air?
Yeah.
Okay, because we just decided, I think everything just went into total blackness here. So, and you know what, guys? I just mentioned load shedding.
Yeah.
I just mentioned load shedding. Well, if you're listening to us right now, while we're talking,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
and we said that earlier. We actually sang that song earlier. Everything's gone totally black. Maybe something tripped. Hopefully, it's not load shedding. So it's 100%.
As you speak.
As you speak, they say do not give it to the universe.
Yeah.
So I want to just say something. I listened to RSG. It's an Afrikaans program. It's my Afrikanerism that's stepping through. And this morning, one of the topics that they were talking about is burnout, teacher burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying the amount, and I think you would know exactly what I'm talking about, the amount of paperwork that you have to do, and the amount of time that you spend at school, and that there is no me time anymore for teachers.
Correct.
There is no more me time for teachers. Your school and your family takes up all your time.
True.
The bit of time that you do spend with your family, because especially this time of the year, we've got kids at school and they're asking this and they want to know this and they want to know that. And so it's very challenging. And so they were saying that, for example, as well, with the extra lessons and extra sport, that schools put these pressures on the educators, that there is absolute teacher burnout. And because of that, a lot of educators, good educators, are also leaving the profession, especially younger ones, which you want to have there, who are good, hard workers, and they're leaving because they say they don't have time for themselves.
Do you know, you're talking about that. I'm saying this, I'm being real. People can judge me. I don't do homework with my own child. I got Naeem at home now, Veronica, teaching Fatima Zara Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was mathematics. I'm like physically drained.
But you can't teach your own child. I'm
It's-
sorry, I
it's-
don't believe.
huh?
I don't think you
It's-
can.
It's like
Very
when
difficult.
we go home, we got chores. You got the cooking. You got to
yeah.
see to the house. You got to do just so many things. And when it comes to your own, you're just tired.
Yeah.
You just because you're giving so much in the day.
And
to
also
everyone
your
else.
own child,
Sure.
you put
Like-
so much pressure on
Like
them.
right now, I have a parent. I told her just message me in hours from now. She's asked me, please please send me the Zulu story because the learners are writing Zulu tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, these are the realities of being an educator. How's it going at George Campbell?
I want to tell you, my son is in also primary school. He says on a Sunday evening, then this mom will message him and say, listen, just check, can we just find out what exactly do they need to learn for tomorrow's test or
Yeah.
exam? He says he wants to pull his hair out because it's just what it is, Or when he goes through a kid's bag and he finds all this stuff at the bottom of the bag crumbled up, So it's actually quite funny. It's all good at Campbell. I think it's all good. They, we have a stagger for example, with me from the technology side. They are writing technology, I think, on Friday. Also an afternoon paper, 3-hour paper. The big ones are done, maths and science. I am fully aware of the different views on the maths and the
paper.
science. The maths and the science and the trickiness, that the papers have.
Do you know, since you're talking about that, my nephew, this happens every year. We take, even when we were in school, we take past year papers and we try to find a sequence. They said the whole format was different this year.
Yeah.
And that shocked, stunned, was traumatic for not only the learners, the educators too.
Yeah.
Because the educators never even see this coming. So they say it's the same thing, but the format is different.
Yeah. Sumaya, I think Veronica, hit the nail on the head. When you look at the maths paper 1, I checked with, your sharp kids, they know.
Yeah.
They wrote it on a Friday because maths paper 2 was on
a Monday.
Monday.
But they do that deliberately with the maths and the science.
Yes, and the science as well. So they wrote the maths paper 1 on Friday. The kids were devastated. Now these are your top learners.
Yeah.
Your 90%.
Mm.
This child told me, sir, I am devastated. I'm so demoralized. If I counted, I'm looking at parts of the paper. I can't explain to you what happened. Now do I have to go on Monday and write this paper? So on Saturday, they came for some tuition at school, and we all went to where this new mall is, new Checkers came up.
Oh, Westwood.
Westwood. We went there. We just went and just to get the mind off and to just refocus, renew for the Monday's paper. So I said to them, listen, if Friday's paper was bad, usually the second paper
Is okay.
They
It's
balance
better.
it off.
It's better.
It's better. And also, if there were some issues in the paper, you will be credited.
Always,
So
Given the
don't get stuck there. You have more papers to go, but it just demoralizes. And then linking back to what Veronica says, the mental health. It's very important. Very
Stressful. It's stressful. It's like for that moment, you think all your the learners who perform very well, and they have their dreams. This is what I'm going to study, and I'm getting the points of year, and blah blah blah. And now they feel like, where am I heading?
Correct.
But educators were shocked, Veronica, about the maths paper.
I understand this whole Bloom's taxonomy and, the 30% everybody should pass, blah, blah, and then the higher order thinking and so forth.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, how much are you actually testing? Why are we tricking? Why do we have to trick the kids? We are testing, even if I have to take a simple example like driving lesson, you're not going to go and put a crash scenario there so that the kid can sort of think how you teach them. Can they go into first gear, second gear? Can they drive? Can they park? Can they stop? Can they?
Correct.
You don't put a crash situation in there.
But
Why do we do this to the kids? I don't understand that. I can't comprehend it.
Do you know, so many matric veterans, seasoned examiners and markers were also kind of disappointed. I mean, guys who even set provincial papers and even were part of the national setting of papers over the years, they were also kind of like disappointed. They said maybe it's a new way, new order, new staff, new management, new guys who are setting papers, but we
Somebody's doing a PhD somewhere along the
Yeah.
line.
Correct.
I want to ask, I'm not 100% sure. I know with the science that there's a questionnaire that goes out for the learners as well as the children. Is there one for maths afterwards, after the paper?
No.
Because for the science there is, which
Okay.
when I sort of did my research
Yeah.
now for Sumaya, you see, Sumaya, I work so hard for you.
Thank you,
know,
my
what can I
darling.
say?
But
What
you
can I
definitely
say?
have to avail yourself for that
Yes.
coffee or that
Oh,
lunch.
shucks,
We
you know,
never do
that
that
coffee.
in a very long time, huh?
Oh, I know. The last time I couldn't make it, I dropped her.
I think
For
the
the
la-
first time
no,
ever,
I
I
think-
dropped her.
I think the last time was, gosh, the year has gone so by. We had, what was it? I had something and you had a chicken tikka and we were there just talking.
Yeah,
But school, we
quite a
end
while.
up talking about
Yeah,
school.
you
We
have
always
to
do.
at school.
But anyhow, so what this does, this survey does, is it has a
Mm.
feedback for learners, where learners can give feedback to the department, apparently.
Okay, there's something new.
Yes. And there's one for the teachers, which I think is brilliant because I think that feedback, might be just the harsh reality that the department sometimes needs.
Yeah.
To,
But
to-
who's
to-
fooling who, darlings? Who's fooling who? Because let's be honest, right?
Do they listen?
And also, we know the reality. But at the end of it, when you're having the speeches and the talks, we got like 100% pass rate in the province and this and that. And a lot of teachers got this, the sarcasm and the jokes because we know what happened. But then that is why we get people who are working in municipality, infrastructure, and everything which is falling apart because do you have the knowledge for it?
Yeah.
It's do you know, a lot of our learners who go into tertiary, they want to go overseas, they don't make it, they don't qualify, only here in South Africa.
I think the concept of I don't need to do too much to be able to earn a pass rate, or I don't need to,
Yeah.
as long as I just. And I always say to the kids, what if that doctor only knows 30% of the body, or your brain, or your back, and you whatever, your heart, you're going in for a heart, and they only know 30%. What if you are the patient lying there? What would you be doing? And the reality of that for me. But I think, quite often for the people who are genuinely working, I think eventually, I think it's like anything in life. You work hard and sometimes you get something and you don't get it, or you put your heart in it and you don't get it, how many times have we not done something and we've given our all and we don't get it?
Yeah.
So I think even with the papers, maybe as they are, sometimes it is a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, I have walked into an exam when I was studying where I think, hey, I'm getting an A for this paper, and the other one, no, I'm failing. And then I pass the one that I think I'm failing, and the one that I thought is an A, I get like 55%, and I'm like, what went wrong? So it's very difficult to judge because
Sure.
I think we have our own perceptions. Like I had my kids all say to me, "Oh no, man, the maths paper was okay. It was all right. It wasn't great, but it was okay." They say to me, "It was okay." When I spoke to the teachers, they all said, "Oh, it's tricky. It's tricky,"
Yeah.
And so I think it's a matter of perception,
But something, I think a press statement would come out about that. There was like, few
There's a
things.
teacher that was apparently on TikTok that had her opinion about that, and that apparently caused a lot of stir.
There was a learner as well.
Was it a learner
okay.
as well?
Yeah.
And what was the reaction of?
Oh, he was not very kind with his words.
but I think the spokesperson, if I'm not mistaken, for KZN Education did mention something about the maths. They are aware of the situation, but nothing came
I
out of
think
that.
the drive will just
It's-
be a bit bigger this year.
Yeah, but also in terms of jurisdiction, province has no jurisdiction because it's a national paper.
It's national paper.
So it's coming from the top, going to every South African child who's writing matric, whether you're from the rural
Wherever.
area or from the urban area, you're
Everyone.
writing the same paper. So, yeah, but talking about percentages, I just want to just go a little further, and I hope learners know this. So when you get your NSC, right, you receive your results, you are either going to get a bachelor pass, you're going to get a diploma pass, or you're going to get a higher certificate,
Okay.
right? The bachelor pass is the highest pass. It'll give you access because bachelor pass It'll give you access to study for the
Yeah.
bachelor degree at
Mm.
university.
Yeah.
So most of our learners, they target that.
Yeah.
And if they fall down like 10%, then they go to a diploma path.
Mm.
But just to explain to learners and even parents so that they can, you know, at this late stage, try and push a little harder. You need 450% minimum, and home language must be one of them.
That's either Zulu, Afrikaans, or English.
So you have home language,
Mm.
and then any three,
Yeah.
right, to make up your 50%. However, if you get 40% for home language, then you need another four
Okay.
450s.
Yeah.
You see, so that and 230%.
Okay.
Right now, because they do seven subjects, right? Life orientation, I move it out.
Yeah.
And I say, if you pass life orientation with 50%, you can go to university. With 40%, you can go to University of Technology, like your DUT. And 30%, you pass ALO. So ALO, we take it off because it's not counted in your admission points score at university.
Yeah.
And even in your bachelor pass.
Okay.
But so we take it out and you say, right, you must pass 50%. You can go to university, right? Minimum. So your diploma pass, you come down 40% for your 4 subjects, which includes your home language. And then your higher certificate, which is the lowest pass, 340s, which includes your home language, 340s and 330s. I don't like to say this to learners because it gives them the easy way out.
Come on, tell it to
Veronica,
us.
they're allowed to fail one subject.
No. We don't talk like that.
We don't talk.
No.
We don't say.
But you know what?
I don't like what you're saying there.
We don't say
We're trying
that.
to
we
give a bit
don't
of hope.
say
We
that.
don't say that.
Trying to give a bit of hope there.
No, but we
No.
don't say that.
There's
And because if a learner has to get to university,
Yeah.
they're not looking at that 30%.
Mm.
They're looking at a quality path. So that brings me now to the next part of the learner where he's got his NSC, he's got his bachelor pass. He says, the bachelor pass is going to get me to do a bachelor degree at university. So he applies to university. And what happens? They can't take him. Now he's confused. So what they look at, each faculty looks at admission point score.
Yeah.
So if you qualify, for example, if you do law at UK, then it might be 32 points. So you take out ALO and you start counting your points. Your points is like your ratings.
Yeah.
80 to 100 is your 7, 70 to 79 is your 6, etc. So you count your points score and you see. Now, if they only got place for 100 students, let's just say 100, okay, for law at UKZN, the law faculty, and you got 5,000.
Sometimes
32 points not going to work. They're going to go up because they want the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So the quality path is very important, right? Then you also have to look at common pathways after post-matric, right? They can go to university, college, to enroll for a degree or a diploma. Then you got the TVET college, right? They are technical vocational, right? They can look at learnerships. They can look at a variety of programs, artisan training. And Veronica is very clued up with the technical aspect, right? And we as South Africans, we need that
skills.
Listen, we are so popular overseas.
Yeah.
And
But
because we're South Africans and we
but
are
as we-
known as hard
exactly.
workers.
Yeah.
Veronica, you always tell us the plumbers are coining it.
Listen, they do. And you
I
know
agree.
why? I always say to them, the doctor with his fancy car drives his car there into the workshop and his car has to be fixed. And who's fixing that? You. And you are making it work. And it's just so worth it, you know. And I don't think that we can ever get rid of a plumber and a mechanic and
you know,
stuff like that.
Sometimes there's pressure from parents, and sometimes there's no pressure. The child just doesn't know where they're going.
Parents sometimes are the worst enemy because the parents have an expectation.
Yeah.
My child will be an engineer, and then the child barely has 40% for maths in grade 8 or 9. And then you say to the parent, ma'am, you know, it's not going to happen. Yeah, but I had a kid who passed he passed one of my tests for the first time, open book. We had an open book test at the beginning of the year. He got 42. The mom was asking me, which university can she send him to? And I'm like, ma'am, let's just calm down. Let's just first see. And then the
Yeah.
rest was sort of not that great. It's still sort of stuck to the 40s. And now the other day we were doing extra lessons as well. She said, if he doesn't get, bachelor into the university, I'm going to fire him. He's going to stay at home, blah, blah, blah. I thought, oh, okay. I didn't want to say much. And I just walked off,
But why does the parent? What the expectation is that
It's their dreams.
The parent couldn't become the doctor, the
Yeah.
engineer. Now you must go in.
And the
No.
child's not interested
No,
at all.
not interested.
Not interested at all.
Right.
I want to come back,
Hmm.
sorry, Sumaya, with what you were saying. I had a situation, I think a year or two ago, where a dad phoned me and he was quite upset. He said they've applied a DUT. He was technical and was provisionally accepted, because that's what happens at the universities. Or the DUTs, they provisionally accept you on the marks that you have for trials. You didn't say that, but I think it's very important that the parents understand that.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, and then the results came out. And then the next day he phones me and he says, everybody else has heard from the DUTs and stuff, and his child didn't. So I said, okay. So I said, can you tell me, what did your child get from maths? He got 54, I think, from maths, or the other way around. And for science, he got 45. And I said, so that's your problem. You have the two below 50. One is below 50.
Mm.
So your child did not, the final result did not allow your child to go to DUT. And the father burst out in tears. I had to pacify his father and say, I'm sorry, sir. But he says, what do I do now? I said, well, you've got the options. Remember, there's the rewrites. I'm sure you want to talk about rewrites. Yeah. And I said, alternatively, go to the TVET colleges. Go to these colleges and enroll your son. I say this over and over, and I'm not doing it to brag, but I have a national technical diploma. I went to the technical colleges.
Yeah.
And I also have a master's degree.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that you're below and you're down there. Parents, don't think because your child is doing it at a technical college that your child is below standard and my child's not a doctor. It doesn't mean that. Your child they're just not going to go straight up the ladder, corporate ladder. They're going to have to go sideways first and then go up the ladder. So parents, don't berate your children when they don't get the results that you want to get immediately. There is a way out. And I'm so pro that.
Educator stress levels are also quite high this time of the year. End of the day, we're also human. Then you have parents who are so inconsiderate. I'm going to say it, arrogant, rude. They're not happy with their child's results.
No, and blame it on the teacher.
Blame it on the teacher to such a point where they even go to the district, where end of the day, the circuit manager just wants to hush everything, no, just give in and do what you have to do. So when you're confronted with a bully parent, what is it? We're giving in? It's like such a system, because when you speak to a lot of educators, regardless whether primary school or high school, everything is like, the teacher is wrong. Let's go to the district and let's take on the teacher. The child is never wrong for not doing work, not completing assessments.
That's what happens when a child fails at the end of the year. I mean, it's gone through so many processes. And if the child has failed, that means the child was pretty weak. And it's actually in the child's best interest to repeat the year. But the parents don't accept that. And I promise you my child's going to work hard. And then I say, but why did you not take your child to extra maths lessons if your child is now doing so 12% for maths, that kind of thing. And then there's never answers. But it's that was the other point that was raised in this morning's interview was the parents, the rude children, the obnoxious children, and the parents. And that combination leaves a lot of turmoil in terms of managing classes and stuff like that. And it's very difficult to manage classes. When you phone a parent and say, but your child is behaving X, Y, and Z in my class, we're going to put him on detention. No, he can't go into detention, blah, 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 and so forth. When the parents protect the children.
Correct.
Yeah.
Veronica, the parent will come to school, many parents will come to school. When it's a discipline issue and you call for them, they will come. If that child failed, you can't do anything at the end of the year.
But they expect you to.
They expect you. It's
Yeah.
too late.
And you know, I know you're a manager, deputy principal, but sometimes it's so sad that educators, level ones, do not have support from their management. They're just thrown in the dog box and you sort it out. And then management tends to blame the
And
educator.
check all the books and
But-
are you ready? And
but-
have you done this? And have you done that?
But they have
Prove it.
signed and moderated.
Mm.
So this is something which is becoming very common in our South African schools, where parents come to fight and are given that leeway, especially in the government
And challenge.
sector.
Yeah.
You know, in that way, because I'm saying this on air. If your child goes to a private school, regardless who you are and what you do, even if it's a mistake on their side, no, we do not entertain this. Bye.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know what you experience on a daily basis. You guys know, and it's you know, teachers today, all those are becoming teachers. Well, I pray. I mean, that's the harsh reality.
You know,
Yeah.
it becomes so hard to fight it all the time that in
Yeah.
the end you just let it slide sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for your own sanity as an educator, you know, do I really need to do all of this all day, fight with the kids all day? You know, I must say we have a lovely system where we have what we call a parallel learning center. It's a classroom that you can send a difficult child to, and for that hour we just remove the child from the classroom. It works beautifully. For example, the child for that hour has maybe a frustration level. It's
Yeah.
just difficult. You can send that child up. Normally a responsible learner takes the child up to the PLC, and the child sits there, and it's we hope that they cool down.
Okay.
And then the next lesson, then they can go to the next lesson. So if they were difficult, or the teacher had a difficult time with the child, or whatever, you know, there was a conflict situation, the child has time to cool down, and the teacher can teach the class, which is, I must give credit to my school for that, because that works beautifully.
I think, you know, you need the
good
support.
idea.
Yeah, but I mean, high school is hectic. It's the respect issue. When now you're reading in government gazettes, you're getting messages on DOE chats and educational chats about all that's happening. It's sad. It's sad. How are we becoming like the countries which we always read about papers, where teachers are being hit, and forget about attitude, but now you're getting that violence towards educators. I saw a video where an educator went in to a toilet and called the boys out, and they never want to come out. It was
And they threw the
water.
Yeah.
I saw that one. Mhm.
Yeah. I remember many years ago when I was teaching in the high school, there were boys fighting, and this geog teacher went to separate them. And the one who was hitting nonstop, he grabbed him and held him down. He was actually suspended by the department, and he did nothing wrong. So he said, okay, so if children are fighting, human instincts,
Yeah.
fatherly, motherly, you want to separate. So how do you win? How do you win?
You know, you see, Sumaya, we have it's like you have to go back.
Yeah.
It starts at home.
Sometimes not. Sometimes not.
Sometimes not, but-
Sometimes it's peer pressure. You know, sorry,
No,
I have to this.
No,
kind of,
that's fine. Peer
Yeah.
pressure is
yeah.
even if there's peer pressure,
Mm.
if you start at home, you start the basics at
Yeah.
home.
Mm.
Now, when I say home, then we got a problem, because many of the homes are
Broken.
dysfunctional.
Exactly.
So then that's where your disjunction is.
And then in today's time, right, from primary school to high school, especially primary school, it's the educator's responsibility to teach values, morals, how you eat,
Yeah.
how you sit, how you speak, how you react.
I'm going to say this now, and I know I'm going to most probably tread on a few toes,
Yeah.
but there was this naughty little boy, and I scolded him. I gave him some lines, and when I went to check yesterday for the lines wasn't done. And I said to him, if I don't get it by today, I'm going to put you on detention. Now, I've already phoned mom. It comes out that mom is a single parent.
Okay.
So in the end of the day, I said to the boy, I said, why are you punishing mom? Why are we all phoning mom? Because one of the educators said, but we phoned, now the whole exam, you've been difficult. We phoned mom twice already. And I've also phoned mom. And I sort of came from a different angle. I said, why are you punishing your mom? I said, you don't have a dad in the picture,
Yeah.
from what I can
Yeah.
gather. And I said, but I'm talking to him on one-on-one. And I said to him, your mom is trying her best. why are you being so difficult?
Yeah.
Why is it that you are punishing her with your difficult behavior? And so forth. And I could see I was touching a little nerve.
No.
And I could see he was just like calming down. And like not getting teary, trying to be, but I say to him, you need to understand what you're doing here. You are attacking the one person that is actually loving you.
Well, we'll be taking a short ad break.
Teaching you something new every day. Radio Al-Ansar.
This hadith is sponsored by Ashraful Aid, International Humanitarian Organization.
حديث أدي قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من غشنا فليس منا. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, he who cheats us is not from amongst us. Cheating and deceiving are evil habits. They are major sins. Cheating includes lying, tricking, and misleading others. The cure for deception is to be truthful at all times.
This hadith is sponsored by Ashraful Aid, International Humanitarian Organization.
Are you looking for a meaningful way to fulfill your zakat obligation? Look no further than Ashraful Aid. With our trusted track record, your zakat reaches those who need it the most in the most honorable and dignified manner. Visit our website at www.ashrafulaid.org.
Sunnah a Day, proudly brought to you by Sunpick, 100% pure sunflower cooking oil. Sunpick, cook more with less.
मेरे नबी प्यारे नबी सुन्नत तेरी दुनिया दी.
Sunnah a day. Be merciful to the young and respect the old.
Sunnah a Day, proudly brought to you by Sunpick, 100% pure sunflower cooking oil. Sunpick, cook more with less.
Imagine this. You're putting together a 7-color meal, from the creamy pasta to the glazed carrots and flavorful onion gravy. This entire meal is made with our 100% pure extra virgin olive oil from our La Familia range, bringing outstanding quality and taste to your kitchen. Shop La Familia 100% pure extra virgin olive oil at any leading supermarkets near you. La Familia, heart of the home.
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
You are listening to School Matters with Sumaya Khan.
Walaikum. Yes, welcome back to School Matters. The grade 12 learners are halfway through their matric exams, done with the paper, not the pressure. Our guest in studio is Deputy Principal of Centenary, Mr. Raymond Pillay, and Veronica Slavitt, yes, from George Campbell. We were having a very nice discussion. Let's continue.
I want to just say something.
Yeah.
That there are also some good kids.
Cool.
I have to say that.
Agree.
There are some fantastic kids that makes your life just so great. There is the 10%, and there are the 10% of the parents. And I must say, when you do phone 90% of the parents and you complain about academic performance, or you want the child to come in, yes, please, and so forth. So there is an upside to it. But I think sometimes just the difficult kids make our life so difficult. It's hard work and all the admin and.
Yeah.
And is George Campbell part of the project for the grade 9s? GEC?
Yes. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
That is like punishment,
It's
because
punishment.
we don't fit the glove.
Yeah.
We don't, because we one of the few schools that we don't work the normal technology. We have the kids that rotate through the workshops, and so it makes their grade 9 and easier. They still do the curriculum. In fact, we do more. We do, I think, 3 times more because we've got 9 technology subjects, whereas in the textbook there's just 3 that they focus on 3. So we've got the welding, and we've got the plumbing, and we've got the woodwork, and so it's very hard work. And then when they come with this, it's normally in the 3rd term, and I'm still busy with my rotations in the 3rd term, so they stuff that up. And then I've got to get the kids, and then the kids don't want to do the projects, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Anyhow, and then to get the projects in, and that's hard work. And it doesn't, and I've said this to the department, to the lady that was there last time, I said, this doesn't fit us. This glove doesn't fit us. So for us, it's for the technology, it's not nice. It's not a pleasure to teach.
But also just to give you a glimpse, at the grade 9 level, GEC, General Education Certificate. It means you've completed compulsory schooling, you get a certificate, you can either go to grade 10, academic stream, or go to any other FET college and continue. But being a pilot school, I've had to look at the papers, etc. Grade 9, you're looking at 2.5 hours English that they wrote on Monday. The kids were finished in an hour.
Wow.
Sleeping.
And the monitors went in, have you finished? Yes, sir. And just flipped over multiple choice.
Oh my gosh.
All the answers were multiple choice. But remember, multiple choice is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's never easy.
However,
but marking is easy.
Yeah.
Now, let's take it one step further, right? There's a grade 9 paper, final exams. Learner's got multiple choice. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. He's got his answers right. Come grade 10.
Not close to
The
that.
child cannot put an essay together. He cannot write sentences.
But since you're touching on that there, if you look at the primary schools, we normally do writing as a subject. Back in the day, if you remember, your teachers teach you how to write. We don't do that. Children cannot write.
They can't read.
Forget reading, writing. Because they're so used to just getting worksheets and stuff. So you think certain skills we take for granted, those are the skills that build them up.
But also, Sumaya, on your phone, do you write?
Technology is so.
I won't even say we press buttons. We more like touch the screen.
Yeah. And that's what the kids are doing.
Yeah,
they don't see a need to write.
So we don't know whether to blame technology, AI. Now you're seeing these videos and stuff of China where these humanoids are actually being sold. Wow, so realistic.
Well, we'll hire them to do the job for us. I think that's what these kids will do. They'll
hopefully we'll be gone.
Them.
Hopefully we'll be retired. Gone out. Yeah, that's a worry, huh? I want to see how the humanoids handle discipline. Especially discipline, Unplug discipline. No, but that's a harsh reality, when it looks and
no,
the way
you've hit the nail completely on the head. And we were told now we've got to monitor and say when the kid comes late, if the kid comes late.
Yeah. What about the admin, unnecessary admin?
But that's part of the whole thing that this report was about this morning, all this extra admin that's put on the teacher. And if they go to sleep, you must write down when do they go to sleep. You must put down the time. When do you go to sleep? When do we now check if these kids are cheating? I must say something that we've started this year. I don't know if you're doing it with the tricks, and we did it in the whole school. No blazers. The kids don't write with blazers on.
Okay.
And I must say our cheating is by far zero.
Yeah.
There's no zero.
Guys, I saw something.
So it's working so well. But the ties, and, I suppose.
I saw something on social media in China. A pen, the normal pen.
Yeah.
How do they manage to write on the pen?
Yeah, but those are like young adults.
Well, they're Chinese after all.
Yeah.
They say a burmaka plan.
And you know what's the worst? That these kids never get these certificates at the end of grade 9. They've never gotten these certificates.
No.
These teachers have done all this admin, and they've got to go now for the memo discussion and mark and put your
because I think it's still in its pilot phase.
But it's the same as Anna. Anna was
the same.
Anna died off, and then you became an ICU. Let me explain that quickly. Right. So DOE, nationally was it, right? They decided to test, it was mainly English and maths. It was, what was it, in grade 6 and 9? But those that grade 3, grade 6 and 9. Those were where they tested to see the skills. And you were given papers to write throughout, same like came in a formal booklet, an exam with a whole lot of activities, and it was taken seriously. And when you wrote it and when the learners failed, you were called an ICU. You called ICU. And then you had to constantly write it. But nothing came out of it.
No.
Nothing came out of that.
I don't think we could actually
16 years ago?
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, I just feel this is another form of Anna.
Yeah.
And if we are not producing critical thinkers, we're not producing in a way you can write.
Well,
and
Raymond, you said critical thinkers. Now, come on now.
Well,
There's,
doesn't the
chat-
statistics show that the
GP?
kids can't read at the grade
No.
of 4?
Yeah.
Grade 4, they can't read. So what are we actually, why? I don't know. Okay.
And you know what's important, Veronica? I think Sumaya is also part of what we are talking about.
You the reason.
There's
I'm the reason.
You
Well,
are
I'm
the
told to pass everyone. No failures.
so that's where I'm coming to.
We told, literally, you
All
are
your
told.
fault, Sumaya.
Do intervention, as I mentioned to you
Yeah.
earlier on, before we could start the show. No one fails. Nobody fails. You need to look at intervention. What did you do? So basically, you can't damage that child. So if a child can't read or write, what did you do where you kind of know they read or write? Let's be honest here, guys. When we wrote essays, assignments, English, wrong spelling marked wrong. Now, if the word looks to what they wanted to tell you, it's right. Where did you ever see a memo like that? I remember when it first got
But we've gone
released,
soft.
the
Yeah.
bulletin.
We've gone soft.
Teachers, veteran seasoned teachers were up in arms. Since when in English you mark the wrong spelling correct?
It's like a race. Everybody
Yeah.
gets a medal. No, there's
Yeah.
no winner and loser. Everybody gets a medal.
In fact, Sumaya, when the directors come to our school and they're checking your results, they're checking the stats, they're doing an analysis, they're going 3 years back, and they're seeing your graphs, which way it's moving, and then they say, every year you're getting this percentage. There's no problem with it for the learners. You're getting the same learners. The problem is with you. It goes back to teacher. You are the problem.
Always us.
So it's difficult, but yeah, I take my hats to all the educators. Take my hats off to
Yeah,
them.
kudos to them.
Kudos to them. They trying. Again, the sacrifices they make. They're not educators per se. So they look after our
The caregivers.
the kids. Yeah.
Well,
caregivers.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's be quite realistic here. Every third person or fourth person you meet is becoming an educator. I mean, I don't know what's attracting, but I mean, it is a blessing. I mean, the Quran, the Bible, everything says, if you're an educator, you automatically, being blessed, you're a teacher, you're an advisor, you have wisdom. But what you learn at university and what are in those textbooks are not what is really their hardcore when you out. Rounding up. Parting words, advice, a little bit of hope.
Okay, from my side, not all this gloom and doom.
Yeah.
The excitement when the learners get the results and your applications, as Veronica said, applying through CAO and your results for the past couple assessment stands until your final result comes in. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Spread it out. Don't think local. Look global. To other universities, other higher educational institutions, and the more you apply, it's like playing basketball. If you have 10 shots, you will at least get 3 or 4 in.
Yeah.
So you can't just look local and just say, I didn't get a spot here. That's it now.
That's it.
So I also feel for the household when the matric is writing. Everyone's writing, and it becomes a serious thing.
Exactly.
So I think I take my hats off to our educators, our parents as well.
Yeah.
The matric parents are in a different zone. They
Totally.
support the kid. They're getting up at 3. I tell them you must get up at 3. When you're like how you do Seri, get up at 3, get them up, and it's muscle memory. Start training them. So all of that. And yeah, they're trying. So we're hoping for at our school, Centenary, we were hoping for an excellent results. And we just
Well,
hope
you're
for the
definitely
best.
back when we are announcing the results,
Yes.
Veronica.
I just want to let the parents know that when these kids write the paper, you must envisage this sort of scene where a teacher stands and they wait at that hall to see that paper. Because the kids, for the first time, well, not for the first time in a while, but the kids have seen a paper which you haven't seen. And you go and you grab that paper and you see what was this paper about? Can the kids do well? And then either your excitement or
Or
your
you're
disbelief or
disappointed.
whatever.
Yeah.
That is something that I want to leave. And I think it's the same as when the results come out. You know, you as parents, you stand there and you say, right, what has happened now?
Yeah.
It is that you need to have that vision in your mind and understand that we as educators try as hard as what you as the parents do.
Well, we have finally come to the end of our program. We'd like to thank RC for making the show possible. And our guest, to you guys, all the best with your learners, and definitely back here in January when we're announcing results and how it's been. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of School Matters. A big thank you to my guests for taking the time to be here with us. We truly appreciate your insight and dedication and the honesty, hardcore raw honesty. To all our learners out there, the race isn't over just yet. Keep pushing until those results are out. Whether you're studying from home or writing your final papers, we're wishing you all the very best. May the Almighty make it easy for you. You've got this. From Sumaya Khan, me till next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah.
You are listening to School Matters with Sumaya Khan.
Radio Ansaar, 24/7, 365.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Ansaar News.
The 11th of November, the news from Durban 90.4 FM, Pietermaritzburg 105.6 FM. Newcastle Municipality launches 2.1 billion rands debt recovery drive. America Monina. The Newcastle Municipality in Northern KwaZulu-Natal